Hello, everyone. I'm Andrew Schmertz. Investors swim in so-called dark pools and how it's impacting faith in the stock market. You're watching Arise Exchange. Welcome back to Arise Exchange. This week, Goldman Sachs was fined for violations relating to dark pools. You may not have heard of dark pools, but they have been around since the early days of stock market trading and recently came to light because of the book Flash Boys, which is about high-frequency trading. While you may not have heard of them, if you have money in the stock market, they are something you may want to know about. To explain what dark pools are and how they work, we welcome back Stephanie Kammerman, founder and managing director of the Stock Whisperer. Stephanie, welcome back to Arise Exchange. The first question is, what is a dark pool?
A dark pool is a network that allows traders to buy and sell stocks, large block orders, without the risk of showing their hands until after they're executed. These trades aren't revealed until after they're done, and they're done on these ATSs. In fact, Barclays, it's an alternative trading system.
It's not a stock. It's not like the New York Stock Exchange.
No, it's outside of the stock exchange. And Barclays has one that's called the Barclays LX, and Goldman Sachs has one called the Sigma X.
Certainly not illegal. But,
no.
But what is the accusation, for example, against Goldman Sachs? What did they do wrong here?
Well, they had price errors back in 2011. That they're finally catching up with it. They were fined $800,000 yesterday on it.
What is the advantage for investors who go into dark pools by not showing their hand of what they're buying or selling?
Well, they can get their order done without moving a stock price, and they can also buy and sell a stock in between the bid and the offer. And, you know, these dark pools, they're not supposed to have high-frequency traders in them. So there's an advantage. But with Barclays, last week, they got sued because they allowed a significant amount of high-frequency traders into their dark pools.
Okay, so what is the profile of the investor then into a dark pool? Would you and I, could we go and invest into a dark pool?
Well, I'm too small. I don't know what kind of an account you have. It's not very easy to get into it. You really have to be a big player in the market. So,
and we're talking big player, we're talking individuals, or are we talking institutional investors, or a mix of both?
Mostly institutionals.
Okay, so we're talking groups that are moving hundreds of millions of dollars through these dark pools.
Yeah.
What would you like to see then done with dark pools?
Well, what really disturbs me is that there are a lot of late prints. You know, these trades are executed, 10 million shares are done at the top without moving the stock down. The market moves down. We don't know why until the next day we see these huge prints.
So is it a full day?
They're delayed.
There is
a lot
full
of times.
day. So it's sort of like, you know, dark matter out there in space, right? You see it pulling on a planet, but you don't know it's really there. Is that kind of what's going on?
Well, it's not fair, because if you saw that Goldman Sachs wanted to sell 10 million shares of IBM and you saw him on the offer, then perhaps you would sell the stock before they had a chance to get it done.
And isn't there a conflict of interest here if Goldman Sachs is moving money through the dark pools? Because Goldman Sachs clearly knows when the trades are coming. And theoretically, I guess they're not allowed to trade on that information, but I don't know. But their clients, who are individual investors possibly, I mean, Goldman Sachs is not necessarily a lot of individual investors, don't know that information.
No, they don't. But we trade off of them. For instance, a lot of times we see these late dark prints the next day, and we see a lot of sell prints, and we know that there's a big guy selling a lot at the top, and I've spotted and called a lot of corrections on Twitter. I've taken a lot of pictures of them, and I teach my students how to trade around these late prints to put it back in our advantage.
How do you get that information then the next day? Where does it come in through?
I use the Charles Schwab block trade indicator, and it shows me all the block trades. It's amazing. I keep it on my screen all day long.
And so I guess for the retail investor out there, if you think that the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ is the only places that these stocks are being traded, in fact, it's just not true. We see that through high-frequency trading. We see that through dark pools.
And they're on the ECN books, too. You really don't know who's doing what anymore. Years ago when I first started, we would see Goldman Sachs.
So what do regulators need to do, if anything?
Well, I don't know. I can't tell them how to do their job.
Well,
I don't feel like they're doing enough. I think they're starting to make a difference and crack down, but I don't think an $800,000 fine on Goldman Sachs
obviously, you know, they make that before breakfast in the morning.
You know, are they scaring people? Or, you know, I don't know. You can't change the world.
Stephanie Kammerman, thank you so much, the Stock Whisperer.
Thank you.